Okay, straight off the bat, I'm going to let you know this video is a little bit longer because it's just the processes that I did in the video. So I'll start off by saying that I'm using the Craft Consortium 12x12 watercolors paper that is available from Crazy Craft Obsession, and they do have that in stock at this point. So at the time of this video, so I am backing that on some black. It's, to say it's cardstock is a bit of a stretch. It's more like paper really, but that doesn't really bother me because the Craft Consortium paper as well gives it a bit of strength. Now I've jumped onto my Cricut and I've cut out some wings because my daughter was, this particular layout was Jen going dressed up to training at her, she does gymnastics for those of you that are new here, and it was a Halloween dress up thing that they were doing, and she wanted to go, her and her friend at gymnastics, one went as the devil and one went as the angel, and obviously because Jen was the younger one, I said you need to be the angel, not the devil. So it was pretty cute. Anyway, so I managed to snap a few photos, even though it's very difficult to do that at gymnastics without getting other children in the photo, but I was able to. So luckily I do have Jen's friend blanked out on here. So okay, so what am I doing here? This is some Distress Oxide spray and it's in the color Black Soot because I wanted to give these wings, I'm going to say it loud and proud, I'm so happy with these wings. They turned out amazing. I know at the moment you're looking at this going, what are you doing? Why didn't you just cut it out in black cardstock? I could have. But the black cardstock that I have, as I said before, it's a very lightweight. So I've run out of my American Crafts black textured cardstock, and that's what I would have preferred to cut it out with. But it's okay. This works. And you know what? Not being so black actually works really well in the end. So stick with the process. Just trust me on it. So, okay, so this layout, if you want to speed it up, be my guest. If the reason it is sped up, obviously, this particular double page layout took me in total about three and a half hours to do. So it's a bit of a laborious process. That being said, I've left this in because I know personally I love watching things come together when they're in fast forward. Like I kind of like that. You sort of see it happening really quickly. Just know that it actually did take me about 3 hours, three and a half hours in total to get this layout done. So I don't like to mislead you guys and say that, you know, oh yeah, man, I smashed that out in 15 minutes. Some layouts I can do in 15 minutes. This particular one, I wanted to go down a very, how would you word it? Like sometimes I like to really just get into the crafting side of the scrapbooking rather than the process of getting the story on paper. So that's why you probably notice on my channel I have a couple of different ways that I do things. Sometimes it's just straightforward and it's super simple, and then there's pages like this one where I wanted to create a beautiful angelic looking set of wings, and I could have just gone down the path of just matting the photos, adding some flowers, all that sort of thing, but this is more me. This is something that I like to do. And the other bonus side to this is I wanted to show you guys how these mini blending brushes, this would not be possible with the Distress Oxide ink pads, and I couldn't have done it with the bigger blending brushes because it just would have they would have been too chunky. So this is where these finer blending brushes make it just come together. I have cut the wings out on American Craft white textured cardstock. Okay, I'm also using the Distress Oxide inks, ink pads, yeah. The reason I'm using that one versus my Distress ink is it stays wet a little bit longer because it's got the pigment ink in there as well as the dye. So basically it gives me a bit of time to blend things out and blend them together. That is the best, in my opinion, that is one of the best qualities of this particular ink. Look, could you have done this with paint? Absolutely. Sure you could have. Could you have done watercolor? Yes. I wanted a really bright, bold impact when you looked at the wings. That's what I wanted you to really look at on this particular layout. Now, I do use 3 different oxide colors. I use spun sugar. I used KITSCH Flamingo, which is what I'm putting on now. And I used picked raspberry on the tips. Now, all of that said, I do come in with some metallic at the end because I wanted to add a bit of extra glisten to the tips of the wings. So I actually pull in some LUNAR paste with it. So it in real life, these wings look amazing. And I'm not one that will say that about my work. Sometimes I'll sort of go, I really like how this layout turned out or something like that. But there's probably only been a few things that I've done that I guess, had the right products to get the right result. You know, that makes a big difference too. You can, for example, okay, let me explain it like this. You can use watercolor, yes. You're going to get a different result. These ink pads they're so versatile. You can stamp with them. You can watercolor with them. You can do mixed media splats and splotches. You can also use them as I'm doing here and use them more or less as a paint and get them to blend together, and it just looks stunning. Now, if you don't have a lot of distress oxides like I do, you can quite easily recreate this by just getting a few pinks, or if you wanted to do them blues, you could do, I think it would look amazing if you did like, let me think, I'll have a look at my cards while I'm saying this. So you could do a dark red set of wings, you know, if you wanted to go down that devil sort of route. You could do festive berries, candied apple with a bit of lumberjack plaid. You could do yellow, so make it more of a neutral thing. You could do some wild honey with some mustard seed with a bit of squeezed lemonade. That would look really nice as well. You could do greens. So you don't actually have to have the entire range to be able to create this. All you need is 3 colors. That's all you need. So if this is something that you're really interested in, or you really like this, it's completely doable, and it wouldn't cost you that much to outlay to get it. So what I'm doing here, which when you're doing a watercolor, you would go the other way. You would go put your light one down and finish off with your dark, just highlights. Whereas what I'm doing here is I want the tips to be dark, and I'm going, which is kind of like you would think the opposite. You would think the tips you would have light because the light's able to hit it, and then you would think the shadow would be in the base of the feather, but doing it this way allows it to pop off the page. That's basically why I did it this way. Now, I have had a question. I did get a question from somebody the other day asking if I'm an art teacher or if do I do anything like that? Like, do I have the history in my back pocket? You know, do I have a tertiary qualification in color theory or something like that? And I actually don't. I'll be completely honest with you. This is all just self-taught, and it's just something that I've taught myself to do over time. So I just wanted to sort of put that out there. This is purely my opinion. This is what I think looks good for me here to my eye. And by all means, you know. All right. Wings are out of the way. Now, I'm doing this title. I do actually cut this off at the end because I made this giant title. And by the time I got through it, I realized I'd made it so huge. The title was so long, which I love doing big titles, don't get me wrong. But I went with a giant title thinking that I'm doing a double pager. I'll be able to fit this on, no problem. But then I was going to cover up all my wings. And who wants to cover those up? They're gorgeous. So I didn't want to do that. And so I do go through and I do create this entire blended title, but I only use a couple of words out of it. Now I had to shorten it because it just wasn't going to work. So there's boo-boo number 1. Right at the very end, you're going to see I do make mistakes on this layout. I always make mistakes. Sue, actually, Sue, if you're watching this, hi. There's a mistake on this one too, but it's not a spelling mistake this time. I did double check. Would you believe the other day in my layout, you may have noticed Sue's comment. She made a comment about my spelling, which, sorry, I just sprayed the black soot onto the offset that I created using my Cricut. So this font is a Cricut font. I didn't write down which font it was, but the offset is 0.111 in case you are curious. So, and I'm just going over that with the black soot so it blends in with the wings. Now, you may have noticed the other day that that Sue had noticed a spelling mistake. Now, you would not believe that I did this. I actually, the spelling mistake is pretty obvious when you go back and reread it. At the time, when I was putting it into the Cricut, I put the word maintenance into the Cricut software and it didn't look right. So I Googled it and I've actually gone back because, you know, when you're on your phone, you can go back and you can check it. And believe it or not, I copied what was on Google and it was completely wrong. And it didn't look right to me, but I was in a rush trying to go, I've got to get this layout done, I've got to get dinner cooked, I've got to do, and I had so many other things going on in the background of my head, and I thought, you are kidding me. I still didn't stop, completely just stop and double check it. So now I have this massive spelling mistake and there's no way I can fix it. Like, it's on the layout that I did the other day, and it was the lawn maintenance one where I did all the leaves and did some ink blending. Been in a bit of an ink blending mood this week, so that's what we're getting. If there's something that you would like to see me try, if there's some sort of, I do have a few comments from the last time I said this, where people have given me a few ideas of things that they want to see. And so they will be coming up in the next week or so. Just, you know, it gives me a jumping off point. And it's great that I can just create whatever I want, but what I'm creating, you guys may not particularly want to see. So I want to keep the channel moving in a direction that I'm hopefully teaching you something along the way. That's what I'd like to be putting forward. So if it's something that you've seen maybe someone else do, but they didn't go in depth enough for you, just let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. Now, right here, okay, so I skipped the rest of that. You didn't need to see me putting all the letters together. So I did skip over that, and that is not something I normally do. Normally, I just fast forward and leave all the product in there. But this was such a long layout. I thought that you will forgive me for skipping over that little bit there. I leave any process that is in depth or hard or something that I think you would enjoy watching. I've left in there. Now you can see with this is how you can see that this is not thick cardstock. This paper is warping really badly. This is actually the Rangers Stickles gel, what do they call it? Stickles glitter gel, they call it. and it's made by Ranger, and it comes in a little pot, and I absolutely love me some shine and some shimmer. And I love the fact that my daughter does gymnastics, because I'm able to just bring all the shine, all the glitter, and all the glitz to my layouts, which is fantastic. Now, this particular one, it's starting to get a bit gloopy. So I decided that I was going to lather this on, because I don't like wasting product, because we pay for it. Let's be honest. We buy it and you don't want to waste it. So that particular one is called Dark Matter. It's a black one, and it's got some green and some pink and some gold and some silver and a little bit of aqua chunky glitter in it, and that's why I wanted to go down that path. Now, this is my LUNAR paste, and it's called Prom Queen, so it's the super bright one, and all I'm doing is just highlighting the very, very tips with the tiniest amount of LUNAR paste, and you can see it just adds that bit of reflection. So I thought that would look really cute, and it added that little bit of extra oomph, and it allows it looks more 3D when you look at it now. So that's what I did with that bit. Now, the wings were a bit of a process. It was do a bit, set them to the side, stop, don't keep going, like, and sometimes when I'm doing layouts like this, I have to get up and walk away from it for a bit to come back and realize, okay, stop. Because right at the very end of this particular layout, you're going to see that I don't stop, and I did touch it, and I did, in my opinion, wreck it. Not the wings though. The wings were perfect. Well, pretty close to perfect. Well, they met my expectations. So what else do we have? I just received a stack of Distress Oxide sprays. Now, I want to let you guys know, from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely 100% want to say thank you so much, because all of these Distress Oxide sprays I have actually purchased with the ad revenue that I received from Google, from YouTube, for how am I wording it? I'm literally overwhelmed. I'm absolutely mind blown here. So I'm just adding these bits and pieces on now. So I wanted to say thank you, because in December, when I asked you guys, would you mind if I did some, maybe monetize the channel, and then once I went down the rabbit hole, I realized that I was able to partially monetize the channel, so that all my ads and stuff you can skip, and any of the ad content you can do that with it. So I've only partially monetized my channel, and I'm just letting you know that from that revenue, that has allowed me to get the Distress Oxide sprays. I've got a lot, I didn't get all of them, but I've got a fair range, so I'll be able to, that will be coming up in the next, I'll be playing with those in the very near future. And yeah, I've just done some swatches of them all and made some tags, and they're different to, it's another layer to the mixed media family that will allow me to create different looks. So I'm absolutely blown away, and I definitely have to say that I'm absolutely loving this. It's so much fun, and I hope you guys are getting out of it as much as what I'm getting out of it, because I absolutely love it. It is so much fun. Now you can see I've put down the left hand side, I've put the photos of Jen when she was dressed at home, and one where she's pointing to her wings on her back, which was really good that I got that shot, because it sort of set the tone for the entire double page layout, to be honest. Now, I know the wings are not evenly spaced from the center of the double page layout. That is because, well, I'm trying to fit the title in there, and I had to sort of tuck and weave those feathers a little bit so that I wasn't covering up too much. So that is why I've done it like that. Totally okay with... Sorry, I need a drink. This is the longest video. Gee whiz. Hopefully you're still sticking with me, or at least skipping forward to the next bit. These wings, whoo, they just turned out so beautiful. I'm absolutely so excited about them. Now, what else can I tell you? So the LUNAR paste, I told you about that. The Distress Oxide Spray in Black Soot. The pink background that I'm using is from the Craft Consortium 12x12 watercolors paper pad. It is available from Crazy Craft Obsession. It's $23.99, and at the point of me posting this video. So yeah, so this is a design. I don't even think I've said this yet. This is a design team layout for Crazy Craft Obsession, and there is a link in the description if you want to go and check out their store for Australia and New Zealand customers. That's where they post to. So if you use the link in my description, I'm just letting you know that there is a small commission that will come back my way. Now, I am just going through, I know this, I've sped it up. Like, I know that I've sped it up, and, you know, it's coming together really quickly. It kind of didn't take that long to pull it together at this point. So when I do layouts like this, I kind of break it down into, you know, the wings. Right, get the wings sorted. Okay, put them to the side. Okay, now do the title. Done. Right, now put that to the side. And then it's just bringing it all together at the very end. Now, something else someone asked me the other day, it was in the Facebook group actually, and she messaged me and asked me why I don't buy the embellishment packs. Why do I fussy cut all the time and I don't buy the embellishment packs? Because every so often I get the vibe where I want to go ahead and add lots and lots of bits and pieces to it. But quite often I prefer to do stuff like this where I'm making it myself and it's more me. Now, so that's why sometimes I buy embellishment packs if I see the bling and if it's got a bit of bling, or if it's got, I like the new Paige Evans, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Wildflowers? No, I can't remember. But they've got an iridescent in the paper pad. They've got an iridescent few sheets, and oh, they're stunning. Now, what I'm adding on here, these are also now available from Crazy Craft Obsession. These are the PINKFRESH Studio Iridescent Clear Drops. Now, they come in, the PINKFRESH Studio have got a plethora of different crystal type drops, whether they're glitter drops, whether they're iridescent drops, whether they're metallics. They've got stacks of them. And Cass and Jacques over there are now getting some in stock, seeing if people like them, seeing if people want them. I can tell you, I absolutely love them. They are so beautiful. In the pack, you get three different sizes. I think it's three different sizes. 1, 2, 3. I think it's 3. I want to say it's 4 different sizes, but I think it's only 3. Now, they are so... I just wanted to dump them all over this layout. The main reason I added these to the tips of the wings is because Jen's leotard has got diamantes all over it, being gymnastics. So, yeah. So, I absolutely loved how this turned out. You'll have to let me know below what you think of it. Is it something that you would attempt? Is it something that you like looking at? Is this something that you would maybe want to see me do more of? The ink blending sort of thing, or something along these lines? Let me know. I would love to sort of do something like this. I mean, essentially it's just a cut file. That's what it is. And it's just, instead of backing the cut file, I've used the pieces that were cut out and I ink blended on them instead. And it gives you a very good 3D effect. Now, I don't always do this, especially not last, but I sprinkled a bit of white paint in the very center. So here's the close-up for you guys. Now I am going to do the shameless plug. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you've been watching my channel, please subscribe, leave a like, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. All of that sort of stuff helps my channel out, and it helps get the information out to other people. And you never know, you might think that that's really common, and other people just may not know how to do it, and I might end up doing it in a video, and then that's teaching someone else something about our amazing craft that we do. So we do and we love. So thank you so much for watching. I'm trying to get all the angles so you can see all the glitz and the glam and all the bling. It's absolutely awesome. I personally love how this turned out. Pink may not be your thing, but like I said, you could do blues, greens, yellows, you could do oranges, you could do all different colors. You could do reds. Totally. See there? See that? I touched it, and I shouldn't have touched it. Jen says it's fine, so that's cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I will chat to you again soon. Bye for now.